Hello, good morning. I am live after quite some time. I just can't shake it. There's stuff I have to share and I can't wait. As a matter of fact, I have some catch up to do. But today, simply a witness, number one. The first one, I've come to an incredible realization over the last, I'll say, few days. So pretty much the front edge. I still got a couple we'll have to catch you up on. But then I got to get on and get off, because if I talk too long, then it's a problem, evidently. I shared with a couple of friends separately a couple of weeks ago. I said, I've just come to be aware that I'm not responsible for everything in my life. I'm not responsible to make everything happen, to oversee all the things and reach my full potential and do all of that. It's not my responsibility. Okay, look, if you haven't met me before, and that sounds really weird to you, I want you to know who I am. I'm Sandra Lovelace. And I happen to be an international Christian speaker, author, and certified trauma recovery coach. I'm a conqueror, too. And I'm also a consultant. Yes, I teach on all this stuff. But some time ago, God called me to be sharing here after my workout, which is why I look like this. Come out in the morning and share what he's been showing me, because my workouts are mind, body, spirit. I don't just go in there for the physical. I keep track of that in my head, yes, but I'm seeking God. This is a spiritual opportunity for me to be with him, taking care of the body he's given me that I ignored for 70 years plus. Simply a witness. Yeah. When I told those friends, the first one sort of laughed like, yeah, encouraging. Sure. The second one, after we talked for probably a couple hours, she shared later, I think, in a text, a follow-up text. She was really surprised to hear me say that. Evidently, she already reached that conclusion some time ago. I never would throw off the label if somebody called me a late bloomer. It's okay. Oh, gosh. And I praise God that I've grown so much, because I used to think that I was responsible for everybody around me. Literally everybody in my house. Hi, Heather. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Nancy. I'm glad you're here too. I was responsible, and I know that it came from my past. It came from when I was a little kid. When little kids, they think that they're the center of the universe. And if something's going wrong, like, is it me? Is it me? And in my situation, there was a lot going wrong. And when I kept being asked over and over and over again, what's wrong with you? Can't you? What's wrong with you? Well, I learned in those days. I figured out, short term, by the way, but I figured out that this is longer than I want it to be, but it's worth it, I guess, because it's number one. Simply a witness, number one. I learned that if I could somehow figure out how to be cute or distraction, I could distract my parents. The pressure and tension in the room might possibly, and it did happen enough times when I was little, it would shift, it would break. Maybe as adults, they figured out there was a kid in the room, and it didn't escalate to the violence. There was a lot of alcoholism too. It didn't erupt into violence enough times that I thought that was effective. And so I learn early on, I must be the adult here. I must act like the parent here. Not consciously at all. Not consciously at all. And as I grew, and then when I understood who Jesus is and what he's done for me personally, and came into the church was happy to pile that on too. Like, well, women are meant to be helpers. Isn't that what Azer means? Actually, it means a lot more than that, but I'm not going to go into that today. And so the intellectual place where I had been living, my brain, the spirit got added on there too for another more than 50 years. Let's just say that. And so that poor coping skill, God has been gracious. I'm a witness. Here I is. I'm a witness. I'm telling you that God has been faithful to teach me. I'm not responsible for you. I'm not responsible for the women that I coach. I'm responsible to share the healing work that Jesus has done in my life. And to let you know, every woman know, that you can grow through counseling. You can learn strategies. You can also grow through, that's called top-down work. You can grow through understanding how your body works and calming it down. That's bottom-up work. Yes, all that's true. But unless you have Jesus involved, Jesus, he is the way, the truth, and the life. Transformation. You gotta have Jesus for the transformation. And so, as he's allowed me these last, let's call it 10 years, round it out. I don't go beyond that, right? I don't want to be that late of a bloomer. He's shown me that it's okay to focus on my own healing, to pay attention to my own peace, that is actually how I am a better neighbor. Or the part in Philippians, it says, each of you are pay attention to your own interests first, and then the interests of others. Okay, go look it up. Philippians chapter 2. Now look, recently this was a step over the threshold, or maybe it was a giant step into the room of peace and healing. I don't know. But honestly, I recognize I'm not even responsible to make things happen in my life either. Yeah, all that other stuff was make things happen, help them to be happy, help them to reach their full potential. That's my responsibility. Nope, it's not. When I kind of feel those old habits starting to show up, then I go ahead and pass it on to God. Like, no. Hi, Heather. However, this thing is new, that I'm not responsible even for myself in that sense. I'm not. God is. It's just like when we release people into his care. Some people think that you're throwing them under the bus. That's not the case. God knows better. God is stronger. God is wiser. God is totally sovereign. And that's true in my life too. Like, this is such a total awakening. And recently, some other certain things, like this list of 20 jobs I have in front of me, assignments, there's just so much to do, and I have to make this go, and I have to make that go. I have to cause more people to sign up for the course, the series. I'm going to do a somatics. It's called Healing Safety Through Somatics. Because this is the leading edge of healing, to pay attention to this body that we ignore, that we limp around for weeks and weeks until we finally pay attention to, oh yeah, maybe that would be helpful if I get some assistance. Pay attention. Get off my feet. See a medical person, maybe. I don't know. Put a Band-Aid on it even. I mean, come on. If you're a woman, you done right well. Thank you, Kathy. But listen. I don't have to figure out a way to get enough women to come in so I can share with them what it means to feel safe. I didn't know. Because that's where healing happens. You have to feel safe. Now, for some of us, it might mean we need to literally change where we live or change the job we have because the boss is so overbearing we can't function. Or a friend that's just leading us in the wrong direction. Whatever it is, we might need to find a safe space, actually. However, I'm telling you even that, ask me how I know. Sometimes that's not even enough. We need to be able to, oh, it's getting hot. I better turn my air conditioner on or my car's going to shut down. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, I'm sharing that with you because it just is now launching me into a new direction. And I was texting a friend of mine this morning about it. She reached out to me. There's about this growth spurt that I'm going deeper. A growth spurt is not just woohoo, launching out and brand new things. It's also depth. It's also depth. So I've learned how to help my body feel safe, because I have been in a safe place now for a number of years. Of course, the world wants to keep giving me the message. No, Sandra, continue. Let fear prompt you here, there, and everywhere. Like, no. And the exciting thing I want to share is what I shared with my friend. Let's see if I can. No, I don't want to end this. Let's just see if I can. Oops, I don't know. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? God, I'm going to repeat it because it's worth it. Jesus, he was there at my conception, yours too. But scripture teaches everything that was created by Jesus. Nothing was created without Jesus. Not by the willpower of man or woman, but Jesus was there at that conception. And he designed me to be a highly sensitive person. Today we're called HSP because everybody needs 3 letters. And in that process, huge waves of emotion flood me, positive and negative. And in my experience, also designed by Father God, I have gone through untold, probably even I haven't been able to measure them at this point, waves and waves of huge emotions. I learned early on that they were dangerous. Dangerous. Put them off. Don't feel them, Sandra. Distract, suppress, set them aside. They're too much trouble. Positive and negative. That's trauma, by the way. Overload or neglect. Overwhelm or neglect. Okay. But the good thing is, you see, now with all this healing going on, first of all, I can identify with these waves of sensations in so many. I'm pretty old, I've been through a lot of things. Bad car wrecks, scary encounters with international police when I was on the wrong track in France. And the inspectors came on my car. I had to explain. I'm telling you, being attacked physically, all kinds of stuff. It hasn't been fun. But now I've been experiencing incredible levels of healing. Understanding here, yes, but growth and knowledge here. The kind of, let's call it what it is, PTSD is the label for trauma, but it's CPTSD. It's been going on for so long, so intensely, on so many levels. And that C can stand for complex or continuous or whatever, but that's where we lose touch with who we are. That's been the double whammy for me. Now God has been building that. I have a pretty good idea who I am now. And this design of his, I have been railing against. Confession. But instead, I've come to understand in these last few days. I'll tell you why. Yesterday I was in struggle. And I know, see these old patterns that we carry. I'll talk about that another day because I learned a huge thing about that yesterday. The patterns that we carry when we start to get struggling again exert themselves. And yesterday I gave in to my old pattern. You need to know yours. I'm just telling you mine. Is distract, and if that's not enough, completely shut down. Distract, disrupt, destroy. And I gave into it. Okay, I'll tell you that story. But God pulled me out. God pulled me out. And in sharing that, in a few minutes, in an odd situation, which I'll share another day, I recognized God's hand in it. He never, this whole idea of Jesus walks before, Jesus goes before us, Jesus walks beside us, Jesus comes behind us, all biblical. I don't have the verses in my mind. All biblical. But we don't always feel it, we don't always know it. And there it was yesterday, clear as a bell, and all I could do was worship. Because worship is the answer. Oh, God, thank you. You are so strong. You are so intimate. You knew for sure that that's what I needed on this day to get up and to get out. To move, which I couldn't do by myself, but he gave me the out to go. He restored me. And to see that, and he's been doing that all along. It's part of the intimacy of the healing journey. I'm the witness. I want you to know that key element today. I've said it before, but it's just been so clear now that honestly, when hard times start to hit, when you feel yourself being stretched, I'm getting to that point of no return. I might go over the cliff. Be aware. Awareness is God's invitation to new life, the kind that only Jesus can provide. And in the midst of that awareness, first of all, we get a choice. Well, I'm going to stay right here. I'm happy with my life the way it is. This situation isn't that upsetting. Or we can decide, I want to change here. The desire, the need to change overrides the fear of change. And then we can move forward. So awareness is really key. But it's God's intervention, don't you see? You can trust him. He'd been working these years to build my trust. I knew for some time it was necessary. So the struggles, the hard times, the stretching, the trickiness, I like to say, it's the place where we find the golden opportunities to turn to God, to get to know him better, to trust him more. They're not, no, maybe like me, you have been in a place at some time, even momentarily, where you said, God isn't here. This is too hard. Why is God doing this to me? Well, maybe because we didn't dig down deep enough. For me, I confess, it was so easy to point a finger, to complain and but in fact, there you go, awareness. I'm in a stretch of it right now. It's not terrible. I recognize today. But a couple of weeks ago, I noticed things are cranking up, and I thought, okay, this is going to be a stretch. I'm going to be offering this healing safety through somatics series, a 3-week series. I'm going to offer it on Thursday this time to see. But I don't have to count the women that are coming. I only have to be there. I'm going to put out the information June 25, July 2 and 9, and it's going to be wonderful, and God will bring the women of his choice who need the healing on this level, the leading edge of recovery. It's part of the next step in my Mind, Body, Spirit series, which I'm going to start offering as we go forward anyway, because I like blessing my friends. Okay, more on that another day. My sense is that's why I'm here. This is going to be a new series, Simply Wisdom, and this is number 1. Simply a witness. Simply a witness. God's wisdom, not me. But that's what he's called me to be. The woman a woman from the last basics, Mind, Body, Spirit basics that I just offered, just finished it, thanked me at the end with tears in her eyes. She said, "Thank you, Sandra, for being faithful to God's call on your life." And then she went on to talk about how it blessed her, how she was blessed by 3 short weeks. Just some stuff on Zoom, conversations, sharing about the journey. Don't you see? Don't you see? He built me the way he built me for the purpose, this purpose. I only have to be a witness to his glory, to his healing, to the love that he shares, the tenderness and the power, the grace and mercy. And boy, oh boy, it overflows in my life. How can I not? Okay, I'll put my witness jacket on. Maybe that's what I'll call this. Anyway, I'll put my witness hat, maybe. I gotta get a hat that says witness. Okay. Yeah, I'm not the judge. He is. I'm not even a lawyer. I'm not the defendant, and I'm not the plaintiff. I'm simply a witness right here to testify to the goodness of God. You can trust Jesus. I'm here to tell you. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for sticking around. Powerful, but it isn't me. It's not me. It's God. It's Jesus himself. Thanks. A blessed Thursday to you. Bye-bye.